Welcome everyone to the first video of the plu-ts documentation. In this series of videos, we will learn how to write smart contracts for Cardano and how to create transactions to interact with those contracts only using Typescript. In order to do so, we will use plu-ts. Plu-ts is a framework to write contracts and is also a library to create transactions. It is a framework because it allows you to define the logic that runs on the chain, which is called chain, and which we informally call, of course, smart contracts. And it is a library because it allows you to create transactions that, of course, is code that runs off the chain, and why code off chain. And these transactions are submitted to the network to interact, and we'll see in how many ways, with contracts on the chain perform a given set of actions. Before we start, I have to mention some prerequisites. The only real prerequisite that I expect you to have is that you are a developer already, meaning that you are comfortable writing some Typescript, but there is no prerequisite regarding blockchain experience. Also, if you come from other blockchains, unless you come from some UTxO based chain such as Bitcoin, there is a little overlap between the UTxO design and other ecosystems, including EVM, Solana, etc. So I only expect you to know some Typescript, and nothing else is really needed, as in this course we will learn everything starting from the basics on how the Cardano blockchain works and how we can use these behaviors to describe our contracts and ultimately create our decentralized applications. So, well, the first thing we want to do, of course, to write smart contracts on Cardano is interact with the blockchain. And in order to interact with the blockchain, we need a wallet. We are going to use in this course the Eternal wallet. To find it, you can just search in your favorite browser for Eternal, as it is written here, and you should be able to find eternal.io. Once you get on this page, you can, if you want, use this page, but you may want maybe to install the browser extension. And in fact, I already have the browser extension. You can click on this link here and here, and it will take you, of course, to the Chrome web store where you can install the Eternal Chrome extension. Once you have installed it, as I already had, you should find it in the top right of your browser, or if it doesn't show, you can always look for the extensions, and it should still be there. So once you have it, you should have a little icon like this one, which is the Eternal logo. You can click here, and you should, you can click on the icon, and you will be redirected essentially to a new page. As you see, the link is different, and the link is different because this is the Chrome extension, which in my case has already registered some wallets, which of course the website cannot do. So once you open the Chrome extension, you will likely notice some different color in your extension, in your wallet that you just installed, and that is because my wallet is already set on the testnet. To change the wallet in testnet for testnet, you need to go in the bottom right here and click on whatever is written. As I said before, you will be here most likely, but we will be working here on the pre-production test. As you see, there are a few networks, but the pre-production testnet is what we are interested in because it is the most similar to the mainnet, but of course it's not mainnet, so we are not playing with real funds on the pre-production. So in order to select it, go ahead and click on the pre-production, and once you refresh it, you will likely have a window similar to mine. The only difference is maybe you do not have wallet. So go ahead and create your wallet. If you want, you can also import or restore or maybe pair another wallet, but if you are in testnet, I suggest you to create a new wallet. In order to create, you just click here, you assign a name, you enter a password. I just inserted a dummy password here, so don't worry about it. And you select the number of accounts, I suggest you to select just one account for simplicity. You save, yes, you confirm, and then it will give you a seed phrase. Of course, you do not never show your seed phrase to anyone. You can save, I will not be using this wallet. So I go back. So once you have created your wallet, you will have likely something like this, where you have 0 test ADA in our case. So in order to receive some funds in testnet, what you want to do is search for the Cardano faucet. You just literally search on your search engine of choice, Cardano space faucet. It will likely suggest you this page. Oh, well, of course, you can also paste this link right here. Okay. And once you are on the Cardano faucet, well, all you need to do is, first of all, select the network. Also here, as you saw before, there are different testnets. Cardano, we are on the pre-prod testnet, so make sure you select the pre-prod testnet. The action is the default, receive test data, so that is fine. And then here you paste your address. Your address you can find if you go back, not on the Eternal website, but on the Eternal Chrome extension. And you will find your address if you go here on the receive tab. You click here. This is my address in my case. You conveniently copy this address and paste it here. You complete the CAPTCHA. You do not need an API key, and then you click here on request funds. I will not be requesting funds because I already have a funded wallet. But once you have completed this faucet step, you will likely, after at most 20-30 seconds, depends on network conditions, you will have 10,000 test ADA. So once you have this 10,000 test ADA, we need to understand where these funds are. As I said before, if you come from other networks with smart contract capabilities, such as Ethereum or Solana, which are usually account-based, on those networks, the way the blockchain keeps track of your funds is by associating a number to your address. And so the number is effectively, in the case of Ethereum, if you want, how much Ether. In our case, we are on a UTxO based blockchain, and what does it mean is that these test data, in my case, are on UTxOs. The ADA are not associated directly with my address, rather my UTxOs are associated with my address, and my UTxOs have my ADA. This is a subtle difference, but we will understand how it works in a bit. First of all, let's see what are actually UTxOs. If you get back to your Chrome extension of Eternal, you will find in the account tab the UTxO list. So you click here, and Eternal will show you exactly what UTxOs are associated with your address. As I said just a moment. And you will see that an UTxO looks like this. Well, actually, to be real, this is not an entire UTxO. This is just a UTxO reference. UTxO, I did not mention this before, but is short for unspent transaction output. So if you analyze the name a bit, you will see that effectively what you have here is an output of a transaction that has never ever been spent before. So in your case, when you requested funds from the faucet, someone sent you 10,000 ADA via a transaction, and that transaction has a transaction hash and has a bunch of outputs. So yes, on UTxOs we can have multiple outputs. So in order to uniquely identify an unspent transaction output, we reference the transaction via the hash of the transaction that generated that output, and we keep track of the index in a list of outputs of the transaction. We will see this when we will build transactions, don't worry. But Essentially, we can reference and uniquely identify an unspent transaction output, an UTxO, simply by referencing the transaction that generated that output and the index. So this is what you're seeing here, and this is also called an UTxO reference. And you can see that Eternal is showing you that for this particular UTxO reference, we have 10,000 and something ADA. In your case, it should be around. Now, if we wanted to spend these ADA and maybe send some ADA to one of our friends, in this case, I have this other wallet here, which is also mine, but we'll assume that it is of someone else. If I wanted to send maybe, let's say, 10 ADA to my friend here, what I have to do with UTxOs, because my address only governs UTxOs but does not govern directly the funds, it only governs UTxOs, we will have to spend the entire amount here in order to send 10 ADA to Bob. But since we only want to send 10 ADA and keep the rest for us, of course, what we will have to do is, in our case, generate 2 or more potentially outputs in the same transaction, of which 10 ADA, so a single output, or maybe 2 if you want, but a single output, goes to Bob, in our case, with a value of 10 ADA, and the difference goes back to us. So effectively, what we have done is sending just 10 ADA to Bob and keep the rest for us. Let's try to watch this in action. If you want to send, well, first of all, let's go on Bob and let's see what is the address of Bob. And then if we want to send some ADA to Bob, we will, of course, get here to the send tab, paste here the address of Bob that we just copied a moment ago, and we will specify the amount that we want to send to this particular address. Now, this is pretty simple. So now we go ahead and click send, and we see that Eternal is showing us what is going on in the transaction. As I said, a transaction can have actually multiple inputs. In our case, only one, because we govern a single input. And so this is what we can use at the moment. And it can have multiple outputs. And as I said a moment ago, we are sending only 10 ADA to Bob, which is our intent. And if you look closely, all these are going back to the account 0 of our wallet right here. And we have multiple outputs going back to us. This is just Eternal doing a bit slightly transactions so that we have actually more UTxOs to use in parallel if we want. So as soon as we send this transaction and it is confirmed, we will govern 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 UTxOs that if we wanted, we can use in 5 different transactions in the same moment, effectively achieving parallelism, at least from the user perspective. So in order, well, the Eternal shows us also the summary of this transaction. Of course, from our perspective, we are spending 10 ADA as some fee. 10 ADA is going to Bob. So if we want to proceed, we enter our password. And once you enter your password, you can go ahead and sign. You will see that Eternal said you transaction submitted successfully, and now the transaction is back. This transaction will take around 20 to 30 seconds, depending on the network condition. It might take less, and as you saw just a moment ago, the transaction was successfully submitted and received by the Cardano testnet. And if you see here, Bob received our 10 ADA that we just. If you go look back at our wallet and we go at UTxO list, we will see now that we have multiple UTxOs, as I said before, that we can use. In particular, we have 5. And as you see, all these UTxOs have the same hash because, of course, the same transaction generated these UTxOs, but a different index because, well, if you go back to the video, you will see that each of these index corresponds to the order in which the output were created in that same transaction. So these are the fundamentals of UTxO. In the next video, we will see how we can create a transaction just like we did here on terminal, but using code instead.